A lot of big things just went down for Uncle Howdy's story, so we'll see what's new there. We'll also check out what's up with Alexa Bliss, Bo Dallas's alter ego, and much more. Starting things off with the reveals of the May 16th Uncle Howdy teaser. It was revealed on Raw that a majority of Uncle Howdy teasers would take place on this day at 4 p.m. And that's exactly what happened. It actually turned out to be a pretty cool hour-long live event for the community to experience together. The teaser opened up with a clip of Vicky Guerrero welcoming fans to Monday Night Raw. We then saw a full, old entrance from former WWE superstar Kane. This entrance clip that was shown from Kane was right around his 2013 era. So with Kane being heavily featured and focused in the early parts of this new teaser, it had fans scratching their heads for answers. What exactly is Uncle Howdy telling us through this usage of old Kane footage? Well, the first thing we have to check for with these teasers is obviously any connection or correlation to Bray Wyatt. And in terms of that, Kane does have some deep history with Bray Wyatt. When Bray Wyatt was first called up to the main roster in summer 2013, his very first main roster feud and first premium live event match was against Kane in a Ring of Fire match. So Bray did have history with Kane, and did have this sort of interest with Kane at the time, but how does that connect to current day usage of the Kane footage in Howdy's clip? It's still very vague, but another good theory to consider is that maybe it's a sign for how the new version of the Uncle Howdy character will be treated. Right around that mid-2010s era, WWE went in an interesting direction with Kane's character and on-screen presentation. He went from being this monster Kane to corporate Kane, and then after that, he became a combination of both sides. Kane started to deal with a multiple version personality where he would turn into this monster version of himself and cause absolute chaos, and the normal version of himself would have no recollection at all about what that monster side had done. There was even a bigger moment around then where corporate Kane was severely injured and being stretchered away in an ambulance. And then just seconds after the ambulance door closed, the monster version of Kane would come out of the ambulance at full health. Bray Wyatt would actually go on to mirror this similar idea just a few years later, where Funhouse Bray Wyatt was being put into an ambulance, but then the Fiend Bray Wyatt popped out of the ambulance just a few seconds later, perfectly unharmed. So when it comes to Kane's connection to the Bray Wyatt universe, you have their early feuds with each other. You have the fact that Bray did sort of pay homage to him with that ambulance moment and the whole split act personality. So maybe that could also be something that Uncle Howdy is teasing here. Maybe the character will be slightly reworked to where the Uncle Howdy persona would be Bo Dallas's dark alter ego, similar to Kane, similar to Bray Wyatt. What if Bo, his normal self at certain moments, such as promos and in little other things, but he also too has this multiple personality trait and the ability to jump back and forth between Howdy and a more natural persona? That's something that fans have been theorizing about for a long time, and maybe that's something that's just being hinted at there. But following that quick intro focus on Kane's entrance, the live stream then cut to Bray's Psychiatrist and her home office. The camera stayed facing her chair, bookshelf, and mirror for several minutes, until she finally walked into the room. And it looks like this footage wasn't live at all, it was the footage that was taped onto that USB. The psychiatrist sits down and she starts a session with one of her patients. We can hear her asking some pretty generic questions and statements to kick the session off, but it's nearly impossible to hear the voice of the patient. Some fans think that maybe the patient was one of the rumored Wyatt Six members. We know for sure that Alexa Bliss has had therapy and a psychiatrist history because WWE showed Alexa going through those sessions a few years back on Raw, so it's not out of the realm of possibility at all if Alexa needed some more sessions. And as the session was going on, the psychiatrist walked up to her desk several times and eventually started discovering all the strange notes hidden around her room that Uncle Howdy had left for her. She gets spooked out looking at these notes, even looking at the camera at one point and directly asking, "Who are these people?" Considering that she knew the camera was on and that she was in the middle of a session. That does make it seem even more likely that the patient had to be in on everything going on with Uncle Howdy as well. Because there's points there at the end where the psychiatrist is directly asking the patient about what's going on and who are these people leaving notes. So is it one of the Wyatt 6 members that have been dealing with the feeling of being overtaken by Uncle Howdy, so they came to the psychiatrist for help? It's definitely a possibility. You can't really rule out anything right now, but the screen finally exits the psychiatrist's office after an hour, and then we see a quick glimpse of what appears to be a monstrous face before fading to black. That monstrous face is getting a lot of attention from fans as well. Some fans even wondering if that's an early first look at Uncle Howdy's new look and new mask. Howdy's been gone for well over a year and is entering a whole new era and story, so it would be the perfect time to freshen up his look if they so pleased. Another interesting smaller detail was that between the 4 to 5 p.m. time frame that the Uncle Howdy livestream was on the air, Alexa Bliss sent out another cryptic tweet. Alexa's tweet said, quote, "Hi, it's me, LOL," end quote. And to make matters even more interesting, Alexa would go on to delete that tweet moments later and acted as if it never happened. So as always, when it comes to little riddles like these, you always gotta wonder if it was simply a coincidence or purposely done. Did Alexa accidentally post something that she didn't mean to post? Or was it directly intentional and meant to relate towards the psychiatrist's live stream? It's impossible to tell at this point. Even the message from the deleted tweet was strange. Who was she announcing herself to? Was she checking into the psychiatrist session? Was Alexa the patient? The whole dynamic, this whole setup for Uncle Howdy's return, and all these bits and pieces connected to it have been a lot of fun to follow. It's one of these things that just brings a whole community together to play detective and trying to find out clues about everything that pops up. And this 1 hour live stream really was a fun event to take part in. But just to recap the events of the psychiatrist live stream, it looks like the footage was taken most likely just near moments before Howdy and the family captured the psychiatrist in her home. Some fans were even pointing out smaller details, like when the psychiatrist would walk in front of the mirror on her wall, she didn't have a reflection in the mirror. So that was something that fans caught on to and had them wondering if this psychiatrist was even real or not. But then again, we do see the news article at the end of the stream that did talk about how her loved ones did report that she was missing and how law enforcement was called to the scene. So she may not have a mirror reflection, but she definitely appears to be a real person within this universe. And on top of everything going on with her being taken, you also have the Kane clips, Alexa's deleted tweet, and the monster appearance at the end. A lot of fans are looking at King and Queen of the Ring to be the place and time for Uncle Howdy's return. So that means we still have a few Raw and Smackdown shows to get through before that event that could really set the stage for this story and return. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.